Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine and preparing for the first term exam. And here I am back with the fourth lesson of our English literature book. And the name of the lesson is Jeannie's Amber Beads. Jeannie's Amber Beads. This is taken from the book The Stories Mother Nature Told Her Children. And this book is written by Jane Andrews. Jane Andrews. She was an American author and educator. Her teaching was very advanced. She was the writer of many popular children's books. The book, The Stories Mother Nature Told Her Children, was also a popular book, which is based on the nature and its unique treasure. And today we are having one of the story of this book, and that is Jeannie's Amber Beads. In this story, the writer has mentioned how amber was formed and how amber beads necklace came into existence. So to know about the formation of amber and the existence of amber beads necklace, let's start reading. So before I start reading, I request you all to open page number 37 and keep a pencil with you to underline the new words. So let's have the reading of first para. The first para is, Jeannie was a little Scottish girl who lived among the Highlands. She lived in a simple hut in the beautiful hills. Jeannie's father kept sheep on the hillsides, and Jeannie and her mother spun and wove beautiful cloths on their looms. Dear students, in this paragraph we are having some new words like Scottish, Highlands, kept sheep and looms. So first let me tell you the meanings of these words. The first word is Scottish. Scottish is used for the citizen of Scotland. As the citizen of India is called Indian, citizen of America is called American. In the same way, citizen of Scotland is called Scottish. Now let's have the next one. Highlands. Highlands, a mountainous region of Scotland covering the north and northwest part of the country. So here you can see the Highlands of Scotland. These highlands cover the north and northwest part of this country. In the other picture you can also see the beauty of Highlands of Scotland. After that, the next word is kept sheep. Kept sheep means owned and took care of sheep. This is the important occupation of mountainous region. People keep and rear sheep on hillsides to get wool and other things. After this word, we are having looms. Looms are frames or machines which are used for weaving threads into cloths. In this picture, you can see a lady is weaving the cloths on this loom. These looms can be hand looms or machine looms. So here the word meanings are completed. Now let's have the explanation of the first para. Here the first para describes Jeannie. Jeannie, who is the central character of this story. Jeannie, a little Scottish girl. She lived in a simple hut among the Highlands with her parents. Her small hut was among the beautiful hills. His father was a shepherd. Do you know who is the shepherd? A shepherd is a person who keeps and rears the sheep. And Jeannie, along with her mother, used to spin and weave beautiful cloths on their looms. Looms, the frames or machines. So dear student, from this paragraph we have learnt about Jeannie and her family. Now let's have the next para to know what special things she had and from where did she get this special thing. Here is the next para. One thing that Jeannie treasured was a necklace of amber beads. Her grandmother had given the beads to Jeannie on her 12th birthday. The beads had the rich color of bright sunshine. When an amber bead was rubbed, it gave off a fragrance and it could attract things like a magnet. In this paragraph, we are having two new words, treasured and fragrance. Let's see the meanings of these words. Here the first word is treasured. Treasured means looked after carefully. When something is special for us, we like to treasure it. Next one is fragrance. Fragrance means strong and pleasant smell, like a smell of rose and perfumes. Now let's go back to the previous slide. Dear students, Jeannie was having one special thing that she looked after very carefully. Now what was the thing? Do you know? It was a necklace. Necklace of amber beads. Here is the necklace. Necklace of amber beads. I know you might be thinking, what are amber beads? So, amber beads are beads which are made from amber. In this slide you can see amber beads. Now what is amber? Let me tell you. Amber. Amber is a hard yellowish brown substance which is originating from a pine tree. It is usually used to make decorative objects or jewelry. Dear students, in this slide you can see a translucent yellowish liquid is coming out from the bark of the tree. When this liquid hardens, it becomes amber. Here you can see a lump of amber of irregular size. This lump is used for making decorative items or jewelry. So this necklace was very special for Jeannie. Now can you guess it? Why it was so special for her? Because it was gifted by her grandmother on her 12th birthday. This necklace was her birthday gift. That's why it was very special for her. With that, these beads had bright sunshine color. And also these beads give a very strong and pleasant smell when they were rubbed. And even these beads were having the ability to attract the things like a magnet, only because of this pleasant smell. So here we can say that these qualities of amber beads were enough to make the necklace special for Jeannie. Now let's have the next para to know more about the beauty of these amber beads. Here, inside one of her beads was a delicate bit of ferny moss in a globe of yellow light, as if it were in the sunlight. Inside another was a tiny fly, his little wings outspread and raised for flight. In this paragraph, again we are having two new words, delicate and moss. So let's see the meaning of these words. The first word is delicate. Delicate. Something that can be easily broken or damaged is delicate. Moss. A small flat green or yellow flowerless plant that grow on wet soil or on wet surfaces such as rocks. Now let's go back to the para. So this paragraph is admiring the beauty of amber beads. All the beads of the necklace are different from each other. Even any two beads are not same. Each and every bead of necklace was very beautiful and unique. Here the writer says that one of bead was having a delicate bit of ferny moss, which was light yellow in color, and it looked like that it was kept in the sunshine. The another bead was having a tiny fly inside it with his little wings outspread. Her wings were looked like it was ready to fly. Here in this slide you can see that each and every bead is having its unique beauty. Each bead is having different creature embedded inside it. And these embedded creatures enhance the beauty of these beads. Now let's have the next para, which also admiring the beauty of these beads. Here is the next para. One bead held 2 pine needles lying across each other. A bee was lodged in another bead which looked like frozen honey. Some beads had golden beetles in them. The beads were all so beautiful that Ginny spent a lot of time just admiring them. In this paragraph, we are having a new word, lodged. Lodged means stuck firmly. So dear students, in this paragraph also the writer is admiring the beads. He says that another bead is having 2 pine needles which are lying across each other. And in another one, a bee was stuck firmly. It looked like frozen honey. Further he says that some of the beads were having golden beetles inside them. And do you know, these all beads were so beautiful that Ginny spent her lot of time along with them, just praising them and wondering about them. She admired them a lot. Let me show you. Here you can see Ginny is admiring her amber beads. Now the question is arising, from where these beads came? Let's find out the answer in the next para. Let's have the next para. Ginny's grandfather had got the beads from the wreck of a ship, Goshawk, which had sunk in the sea waters near his Highland home. He had gone looking for what he could save from the wreck. There, among the slippery seaweeds, he had accidentally stepped on this piece of amber. It was clear, shining lump, and all the creatures had been embedded in it. In this paragraph, we are having some new words to learn, like wreck, seaweeds, lump, and embedded. So let's have the meanings of these words. The first one is lump. Lump is a piece of something solid of any size or shape. You might have seen a lump of soil. Now next is embedded. Embedded means stuck firmly and deeply within. Let me show you something. Here in this picture you can see a piece of amber. A mosquito is embedded, means stuck firmly within it. The next word is wreck, means parts of a ship that has been destroyed or has sunk at sea. Here in this slide you can see a ship is sunk in the deep sea and it is completely destroyed. So the parts of the destroyed ship are called wreck. The next is seaweeds. Seaweeds are marine plants and algae that grow in the ocean. Now let's go back to the para. Students, in this paragraph, the writer has described the place from where Ginny's grandfather got the amber. Do you know what was that? It was the wreck of a ship, and the name of the ship was Goshawk. Now let me tell you what happened. Several years ago, a ship, due to a great storm, had sunk into the seawater near the Ginny's grandfather's Highland home. After watching this, Ginny's grandfather went there for searching something. What? he could save from the wreck. And accidentally, he stepped on a hard substance. It was a clear and shining lump. Lump means a piece of solid. It had no any definite or regular shape. And all the creatures were stuck firmly inside it. Here in this slide you can see Genie's grandfather got a clear and shining lump in the seawater. And inside it all the creatures were embedded. Now let's have the next para to know what Genie's grandfather did after getting this lump. Here is, from this lump, grandfather had carved out the beads himself and had given them to his wife as a wedding gift. He had worked very carefully to save the embedded insect or weed in each piece. How his young wife had loved it. She had worn it for many years and then had left it to her granddaughter. In this paragraph we are having a new word, carved out. Carved out. Carved out means cut wood or stones to make an object. In this slide you can see a person is cutting out a piece of wood to make a decorative article. This paragraph tells that after finding that shining lump, how Genie's grandfather molded it into amber beads without harming the creatures which were embedded in it. To save embedded insects and weed in each piece, Genie's grandfather worked very carefully. He himself carved the lump and molded into beads. He worked hard very much. Student, in this slide you can see Genie's grandfather is having a shining lump, that is amber. And here you can see he is carving it carefully to make beads. And because of the hard work of Genie's grandfather, these beads were very pretty. And his hard work also was rewarded when he gave these beads to his wife as wedding gift. She got very happy to receive them and she wore it for many years. And then she kept it for her granddaughter. And who was she, you know? She was Genie, who got these amber beads on her 12th birthday as birthday gift. Here is the next para. But what puzzled Genie was how the amber came to be on seashore and how the bees, the moths and the other creatures had got inside. So she looked it up in a book. In this paragraph we are having a new word, looked it up. Looked it up means search for information by looking in a book or nowadays also a computer. Today, if we want any kind of information, at once we use our mobiles or computer instead of using a book. As today the technology is so advanced that we can get any kind of information about anything very soon. But in olden days, as there were no mobiles, no computers, people used books to find out the answers of their questions. Here Genie was very puzzled. She started to find out the answers of her questions from the book. She wanted to know how the amber came to on the seashore and how the bees, the moths and other creatures had got inside the amber. And finally, she searched whole the information in the book. Do you want to know what the information she got in the book? Let's have the next para to know it. The next para is, she learned that long before any humans appeared on earth, the Scottish Highlands were covered with forest. There were oaks, poplars, beeches and pines. Among them was one kind of pine, tall and stately, from which a shining yellow gum flowed. This beautiful yellow gum was fragrant. In this paragraph also we are having some new words like oaks, poplars, beeches and pines. These are the names of the tree and along with that gum. Gum is a substance which is obtained from the bark of a tree. Now let's have the meanings of other words. Oaks. Oaks are large strong trees with hardwood. These trees are found commonly in the northern parts of the world. Next is poplars. Poplars are very large, tall, straight and thin trees. They are having very soft wood. After that, beeches. Beeches are large forest tree with a smooth grey trunk and spreading branches. After that we are having pines. Pines are tall trees with thin and sharp leaves. These are evergreen trees. Now let's have the para. Here Jeannie has learned from the book that amber was formed long before any human appeared on the earth. Means even there was no man on the earth. The Scottish Highlands were covered with forest. Here you can see the forest of Scottish Highlands were very dense and thick. And these forests were full of beeches, poplars, oak and pine tree. Among these trees, there was a kind of tall pine tree from which a shining yellow gum flowed. Let me show you. Here in this slide you can see these are the different kinds of tall pine trees and the shining yellow gum is flowing down. This beautiful gum is having a pleasant smell or perhaps the taste also. Now let's have the next para to know how this beautiful yellowish gum turned into amber. Here thousands of little insects fluttered about it in the warm sunshine. They were attracted by its pleasant smell, perhaps too by its taste. In the previous para, as I told you, the gum was very beautiful and fragrant. And perhaps it was also sweet like nectar. So because of its fragrance and taste, thousands of little insects were attracted towards it and they fluttered about it. Now what happened with these insects? Let's see in the next para. Here, once they alighted upon it, they stuck fast and could not get away. The great yellow drops oozing out surrounded and at last covered them entirely. Wind-blown bits of moss, leaves, acorns, cones and little sticks too were soon stuck in the fast-flowing gum. As time went by, the gum hardened more and more and became amber. The new words are alighted upon, stuck fast, oozing out, acorns and cones. Let's have the meaning of these words. Here the first one is alighted upon. Alighted upon means came down and sat upon. Next, stuck fast. Stuck fast means stuck firmly. After that, oozing. Oozing means flowing slowly because it is thick and sticky. In this picture you can see the gum is flowing down and as it is thick and sticky, it is flowing down very slowly. Next is cone. Cone is a part of the plant. Acorn. Next is acorns. Acorns are the nuts of the oak tree. Here in this picture you can see these are acorns. As I told you in the previous para that the gum which was flowing down from the pine tree was full of pleasant smell and taste. Thousands of little insects attracted towards it and settled on it. And as soon as they settled on it, however, they stuck fast and could not get away. In this slide you can see as the gum was very thick and sticky. Once insects settled on that, they could not escape. And soon these yellow drops of gum surrounded them and covered them entirely. Along with insects, some other wind-blown things. Wind-blown things, the things which blow with the winds, like bits of moss, leaves, acorns, cones and little sticks. these also tiny things were stuck in the fast flowing gum. And this gum also covered them entirely. And as time went by, the gum hardened more and more and turned into amber, trapping the insects and other things in it forever. Let me show you the piece of amber on the next slide. Here you can see a piece of amber and an insect is trapped inside it forever. So from this paragraph we have learned how amber was formed. Now let's have the next para to know how this amber came to the seashore. Here, in those very old times, the land sometimes sank down into the sea so deep that the water covered the very mountain tops. And then, after several centuries, the land was slowly lifted up again. The great forest of the north of Scotland, the oaks, the poplars and the amber pines sank into the deep sea. This paragraph tells that in olden days, the Scottish Highlands sank down into the deep sea and they were covered completely by the water, and after many years, the land came up again. The thick forest of the north of the Scotland, the oaks, the poplars and the amber pines, all the kinds of trees sank down in the deep sea. Then what happened after that? Let's have the next para to know this. There, lying at the bottom of the ocean, the wood and the gum hardened like stone. Only the great storm could disturb them as they lay half buried in the sand. It was one of those great storms that had brought the lump of amber closer to the shore, where Jeannie's grandfather found it. When he gave the necklace to his wife, he did not know that he was giving her a little piece of nature and that his granddaughter would wear it one day. This paragraph tells that when the thick forest of Scotland were sunk into the deep sea, they were lying at the bottom of the ocean, and the wood at the gum of these trees hardened like stone. Here you can see the forest of Scotland were buried under the sea water. And here the wood and gum hardened like stone. And these were half buried in the sand of the deep sea. Only the great storm could disturb them. Don't you think it is very hard to believe? But it happened. Let's go back to the para. As I told you before that forest of Scotland were completely buried under the deep sea and they got hardened like a stone, and they also were half buried in the sand, and they could not be disturbed by anything except the great storm. And here we can imagine that it might be one of those great storms that had brought the lump of amber closer to the shore, from where Jeannie's grandfather got it. And after getting it, he decided to carve it into beads to make necklace for giving his wife. At that time, Jeannie's grandfather did not know that he was not only giving a wedding gift to his wife, but also a little piece of nature in the form of necklace. As well as he was also not aware of this thing that one day his granddaughter also will wear it and treasure it also. So dear student, the lesson is over with the beautiful ant. Now it's time to give the end to this video. So before giving the end, as usual, I am having a small homework for all of you. And your homework is, write all the word meanings in your notebook. I will be back in the next video with the new lesson. Till then, have a great day. Thank you.